Okay, so this is about 7 pounds of chicken backs. These are whole chicken backs. They're not separated out. So they have the chicken neck, upper part of the spine, and then the whole chicken back. You can see there's a lot of fat on them. And this isn't too big to feed to a dog all at once, but the reason we cut it up is because chickens have these upper ribs that stick out that are super sharp. And even though I think the dogs would be fine eating them, I don't want to take any chances. So we cut right beneath the ribs, which is kind of hard to cut, even though this knife is sharp. These are still somewhat frozen, that's why they're hard to cut. And then we cut above that as well. Okay, and then this piece is set aside for now. See my little pile of these that I have to go through? Okay, so these are chicken necks I've already cut. These are chicken backs that are halved. And this is the fat that I'm going to throw away over here. So this doesn't have anything on it. This is actually longer chicken neck than they usually give you. But the dogs can eat this straight. So I'll put that in that little pile. This is chicken back. We flatten it out a little bit. Makes it easier to cut. And cut it right down the middle. And so this is just trying to get back to a raw food diet the dogs are supposed to eat naturally. They're supposed to eat a lot of bone and meat raw. So this is what qualifies as their 50% raw meaty bone intake, which is mostly chicken backs and turkey backs. So this is a halved chicken back. I feel around for any kind of sharp points on it and cut them off and throw it in the pile. I'm cutting as much of the excess fat off because there's still plenty of fat on here I can't cut off, so they're getting plenty of fat intake from this. And there's organs and whatnot on here too, so this qualifies as some of the organ meat intake, so you don't necessarily have to give them extra liver and whatnot each week because they get it from the chicken backs because this is a main part of their diet. So be careful not to cut my fingers off in the process. Alright, so same thing, cut off this little spiny part. And this is the neck. Pull the fat off. There's a couple little sharp points still on there, so I'll cut those off. And throw this back in the pile. And then again, this is the chicken back. Split down the middle. Okay, cutting through bone obviously. Cutting the fat off. Fat off, throw this in the pile. And then I'll show you how easily they eat this stuff. This is like a little treat for them. It's not as much of a meal as you would think. They need to eat 3 or 4 of these halves each a couple times a day to get their raw meaty bone intake. And our dogs, Baxter's about 85, 90 pounds. Dorian's a puppy, 9 months old, about 55 pounds. And Betty is about 65 pounds. So Betty and Baxter can be trusted to eat these because they chew them up pretty well. Dorian, I don't really trust, so I have to hold on to it while he eats it because I don't want him to swallow it whole. As far as with the chicken bones, I know everyone's freaking out because they're eating bones, but as long as they're raw and not cooked, they don't splinter, they mostly crumble. And we're avoiding any kind of long bones, which might splinter or at least have sharp edges on them, more so even if they are raw. So some people feed them long bones, like the leg bones and whatnot. I'm avoiding that just because I don't want to take any chances. But they do a pretty good job chewing them up. And that's that.